You're listening to episode 43 of the Let's Go Comic Show. Today on the show, we'll be talking about Oscar news, comic books like Days of Hate #1, Abbot #1, Doomsday Clock #3, but most importantly, we'll be talking about Superman's underwear. All this and more on the Let's Go Comic Show. All right, my name is Justin.
And I'm Matt.
How you doing, dude?
I'm doing pretty well, man. How are you doing this fine evening?
Good. We do that every time. Hey, man, how you doing? Like, we've already been hanging out for like 30 minutes.
No, but how are you?
How are you doing? Dude,
How's your heart?
How's your heart, man? Let me tell you.
It's a whole different kind of show.
Yeah. My heart was beating fast on the way over here. I missed the first exit to get off at Matt's house. And then there's another one like, okay, if he's kind of sandwiched between two exits. It's like a tasty sandwich of exits. And so then I missed the second one because on the way over, I had Spotify on and I was trying to be a good driver and not like have my phone there. And then I was picking a song and it slipped and it landed on the phone. The floor. My phone landed on the floor and on came the Batman '89 soundtrack. And I was like, that was a good slip. And so I'm driving and it was just like brassy and Batman. And then I just zipped on past. I was like, dang it. And then like again, I was like, dang it. And
just
so,
gets you in the
because once you miss the second opportunity to get to Matt's house, then it's a drive. And you're like, oh suck. And you got to drive a long time. But anywho, I was thinking, I was thinking, dang, what does Batman listen to when he drives? Does he listen to the Batman Forever soundtrack?
Listen to the score? I don't know.
Does he listen to his score? He's like, I love brass. So I love horns, and drums.
He hangs out with Danny Elfman.
Yeah. He's like, hey, man, like, oingo boingo.
Oh,
Go party, bro. I met Danny Elfman one time when I was like 13.
Really?
No, 15. I was 15. And he was just kind of, he's probably on coke. I don't know. I don't know. He just seemed like he was like on. It was an Oingo Boingo show. That's
the takeaway.
Yeah, we met him and me and my cousin went and got to see him like after the show, and we had like we were nerdy, dude. We had like our like booklets for Oingo Boingo and Batman soundtracks, and we wanted him to sign them. And he's like, "That's not me. I'm not that guy." And we almost believed him, like, "Oh, he's not the guy who did the Batman music." And he's like, "Oh, I'm just kidding." But he was just super like he wasn't wearing a shirt. It was really weird. So just two young boys and Danny Elfman not wearing a shirt, you know.
Shirtless Danny Elfman.
Shirtless Danny Elfman. That's the title of this episode. Can I get a shirtless Danny Elfman? That's like a weird drink. What would that drink be? It would be like cherry 7-Up and rum and...
You know what that makes me think of? And it was really funny. So I've been trying to catch up on movies that I'm supposedly supposed to watch because they're award-winning and that kind of stuff. And a friend was telling my wife and I, like, oh, have you guys watched Manchester by the Sea? So that was one of the big ones last year. And I was like, no, I haven't done that yet. And so we sit down to try to figure out, like, what movie we want to watch. Like, the night, like, oh, let's watch a movie, like, just to kind of hang out. She's like, what was the one you told us about? Manhattan by the Beach? And it was the cutest thing ever.
Can someone make that move? That would be the best
Manhattan by the Beach. I'm like, you're just drinking Manhattans are really delicious. Manhattan's by the Beach.
It's just Julia Roberts and what Cameron Diaz.
Just cocktails.
Manhattan by the Beach. Oh, Danny McBride should just make that. He should make Crocodile Dundee 4 and then just make that movie.
The Crocodile Dundee.
Anyways, you're listening to the Let's Go Comic Show, and we are all about comics, comic books, comic movies, comic book TV, anything in the world of comics. We are going to talk about it with excitement and vigor. Am I right, my friend?
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. That's all the vigor that Matt could muster up.
And as we talk about all things comics related, we're going to give you our opinion, and we give you our opinion in the form of the Let's Go rating system.
What is that?
That would be... Gotta go. Being the best
sure?
One.
I was sure.
And I blanked. It's something we use all the time, but I forgot about it for a quick second. Gotta go is the best rating we give. Beneath that is a Let's Go.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it's
you're
still
a
good
Let's
one. A go is average. It's still good, man.
Sometimes I think you're a go.
Oh,
I'm like, dude, Matt was just a go today.
It was just a go.
Yeah.
Oh, and then the bottom of that scale is a don't go.
You're never a don't go.
And when we're feeling especially feisty, we talk about trash juice.
Oh yeah, you know what's trash juice? Wonder Woman not being nominated. Just kidding.
No.
Just joking.
We'll get to that.
Calm down. Anyways, so let's just jump right into it. So you start talking about some movies and stuff that people are saying, hey, last awards season, it was all about Manchester by the Sea. I almost said Manhattan by the beach.
Now that's what it is.
So this year, there was nothing real nerdy on that list, dude. A little disappointment.
Yeah, not...
Like, Logan got like a script nomination or best adapted
screenplay.
But
it's in the mix with like The Disaster Artist and like a few other ones where I'm like, oh,
I think
gosh.
Star Wars had one too for something. So I didn't really pay attention to the list.
For quite a few.
Yeah.
So yeah, but the only really like comic book inspired one that I can really remember is that. That's
it. Dude, no. How did Lego Batman not get an animation nod?
Yeah,
but Boss Baby did.
Interesting. Yeah.
Dude,
I will say that Boss Baby was better than I thought it was going to be.
No.
Still not even close.
My kids watch it. They think it's funny.
Close to Batman.
Lego Batman is like watchable on the weekly. I don't know. It just continues to give me gifts in my life. Mm-hmm. They're still putting out Lego figures. It's fun. I'm still getting Scorpio, what's his name? Telling you, every time I get a blind bag, I still get... Scorpio? What's his name?
Zodiac Man.
I still get Zodiac Man. Scorpio.
Slappy, Swami.
Anyways, that movie is... You know what? On the Let's Go Comic Show award show, wasn't that my pick over Wonder Woman, Lego Batman?
Yeah, for your
I think so.
Best comic book movie.
Chris McKay, Lego Batman. You got our hearts. Anyways, yeah, that was very disappointing. Like I get it. Freaking what was the movie? The little boy and the guitar.
Coco.
That's gonna win. Like, we get it. It made everybody cry.
Oh, dude, it's really good.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Lego Batman. It was so fun.
Really, really well done. Yeah. And so I was bummed about that a little bit.
Yeah. A lot of people were upset about Wonder Woman didn't get anything. I didn't even think it was, to be honest. I don't know what it would have.
Here's the one thing I would have loved to see Patty Jenkins in the mix for Best Director.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
A bunch against everything else that's up?
Oh, I mean, it's all really good stuff. I don't know.
Really? That would have been nice. I'm thinking maybe
saying,
cinematography
like, the one
would have been good.
Where it would make sense to me. Like, I would be like, man, that was... And here's the thing is, I think people are talking about it being a snub. Where I'm like, is it really a snub?
It's not a snub.
Because I don't know, man. We can't argue for things to get awards based on what they accomplished. Like, you have to look at what they are.
Yeah, but that
do you know what I mean? Like, to say like Wonder Woman should do it because of like the amount of money it made and the importance of female director.
Dude,
no
movie that wins award
reasons.
isn't for money. Sorry.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
These aren't money makers.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't make sense for that. I've seen that thrown around a little bit. Like, the impact being the reasoning why it should be considered for an Oscar. I'm like, no, not really. Like, that doesn't automatically do it for me. But that being said, I do feel like there's some validity to the idea that this genre, comic book movies, they have a way, way harder time getting nominated for stuff than other things. Like, just because of what they are. Like, they have to be like perfect and flawless to even be considered. Or I'm like, there's plenty of movies that are really good that are nominated for Oscars that aren't perfect.
Yeah. No.
Do you know what I mean? And so I feel
agree.
like I could see that part of it is kind of unfair in my mind.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It is what it is. Like, the stuff that did get nominated, okay. Like, haven't seen all of them.
Most of them are
I don't
well
think,
deserved.
Here's the thing. I don't think Get Out is Best Picture. I think it's a good movie, but I'm like, it's the same thing with Wonder Woman. Like, it did all this stuff, but is it the Best Picture of the year?
I think it deserves
and I might get slack for saying that. I just don't think it was.
I think it
Best
deserves
Picture.
to be in the running.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It was probably like in my top 5 last year.
I thought it was good. I just don't know if it was.
I think the other
best
categories
picture.
of like screenplay and lead actor and director, I think those are well deserved. But I can see like maybe there's other films themselves as a film.
I just.
But I think it's really cool that it's up there. There's a few movies that like I liked that a lot. Lady Bird was a really good one, and that's nominated for a lot of things. I just saw The Shape of Water last night.
Yeah, what
the
do you think?
Guillermo del Toro one.
I
He
want to
has
see that.
such a distinct vision of things. Like there's no mistaking the way his films are going to look and feel. That being said, it was really, really beautiful, really cool, really well done. Pan's Labyrinth is still like my favorite of his movies, probably.
That and Hellboy 2.
Oh yeah, man.
Hellboy 2
It's
is
true.
it's so good. But here's the thing.
So this is really good. I enjoyed it.
We can still bank on one superhero movie winning an Academy Award, and that's Suicide Squad. So if we're ever sad, Wonder Woman didn't do it, that's because Suicide Squad did it before. And there you go. So,
guys, we let one slip through. We're not doing it again.
They're like, man, that's the one.
I will say
that's the one we're dying on.
I like that Logan is in the mix to go back to.
Yeah, I hope that it, dude. If that wins for best adapted screenplay, that's a huge win, and that's good. And good on them.
I think it's a long shot.
I do too.
Not because I didn't like the movie. I actually liked it more than you did.
Yeah, I didn't like the villain thing in the end. I was like, whatever. If that wins, it's a miracle because that was terrible.
You think it was terrible?
Let me fight the clone of me again. Twice.
This was
the same movie.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. That's a rabbit hole, so we'll get down there. Okay. So let's get into some other news. Matt just broke my heart when we sat down because I have not been reading Twitter like he reads Twitter. Matt reads Twitter. He takes it and he has a whole other like
take it, care for it.
He cares for it. He tells it, hey, what's up, Twitter? I love you. Twitter, tell me some secrets. And so Twitter told you what?
Jeff Johns tweeted out the Doomsday Clock is going to be bi-monthly for the time being. That means every other month. Not twice a month, every other month.
That sucks.
A 12-issue series with 8 issues left.
They're all...
Oh, man.
That's hard, dude. Okay, so here's where it mucks everything up in my brain. Because remember they said it's going to be ahead of what's going on in the DC universe, right?
Yes, it's supposedly a year ahead, and then the DC universe will catch up to it by the time it's done. So
now
it's going to slow down.
So what are they going to do? Like, oh crap! Everybody, like, write a couple 6-issue arcs in the middle of everything.
I don't know. Everyone hit that cul-de-sac real quick. Just make a couple laps.
So whoops. So
jog in place for a second.
Anyway, so we'll talk about more about that as we're going to jump into Doomsday Clock number 3. But yeah, here's the thing: I do want them to write the best story, but that's just hard.
Yeah, and they don't want to take it down because these are 32-page issues.
No, I know,
which is a lot, especially. And I was thinking about like, you look at Gary Frank's style of art;
it's really good.
It's so detailed.
Yeah,
like he doesn't take shortcuts like we've talked about other guys taking.
Gary Frank doesn't take shortcuts.
And you can tell. And so it's like, well, yeah, I'd imagine that seemed like kind of a tall order in the first place. So, I mean, I kind of follow the same way. Like, I don't mind a story taking longer if it's good. Yeah.
But here's the thing. It's kind of in that situation with Metal. I don't want to lose interest. I don't want to be like, oh, well, now this is done. Now I don't think that's going to happen because I'm really like into this story and I'm excited about it. Where Metal is starting to wane on me. I'm like, oh, is Metal still going on? Like Metal is still going on. We still have a few more issues, right?
Yes.
Like 3 more, right? And that's taking a month off.
2 more?
Or is this the month off? I
feel like there's 2 more.
Yeah.
We just had Metal number 4.
Yeah.
In December.
So hopefully, there's things in the midst, with Action Comics 1000 coming up. And so we'll segue into that. Big news. Big news.
What does it say about nerd culture?
Yeah.
That this is the big news this week that people are losing their mind over.
Trunks are coming back. Superman's wearing his underwear again. And everyone is excited.
The dark Trunks return.
The dark Trunks. Dark Trunks return. Yeah. What's your initial reaction?
Do we give any context just now to people that don't know what we're talking about?
So here's the thing. Superman, since like freaking 1938, has wore his underwear on the outside. And then in 2011...
Red trunks.
Just big bam, like basically invented the superhero comic book costume. And it's kind of like the gold standard of superhero costumes, right? And then 2011 comes, they do New 52. They're like, guess what's going? The red pants are gone. But we're going to give him a whole bunch of segmented armor and other thing and a turtleneck and whatever.
Oh, man. Yes.
And so they did that, and Superman lost his trunk. So since 2011, Superman has not been wearing underwear on the outside. On the inside, who knows, man? Probably.
Hopefully.
Like, who knows how Kryptonians do that stuff.
I don't know if that suit's going to chafe.
On the outside, the trunks were gone. And now that we're in Rebirth in like 2015 was it 2016? 2016 Rebirth.
Yes.
Comes out and they kind of go back to a more traditional suit, except it's
with no red boots at first,
but just red lines.
But then the red boots
calves
came back.
Then once
Still
they
no
did
trunks.
Superman, they did what was it? Superman Reborn, was it? That storyline. So he goes back to basically the classic Superman suit, sans the trunks.
Yep.
And I thought that was a really good interpretation. Like, I'm good with that suit. It feels kind of like the cinematic version. I'm good with it. Here's the thing: the shorts. I was happy with them being gone. I didn't miss it. It was kind of one of those things that it's okay to move forward, you guys. It's okay to update. Like, Batman hasn't had the trunks either. I think it was it was indicative of the strongman suits, is what they say. Like, oh, the muscle man's in the circus and stuff. That's why it was there. I mean, it does break it up in color with design, but I think having the belt there makes sense. So I don't know, man. Like, I'm a no trunks guy. I think the last 6 years I've been okay with no trunks, and I think a lot of people even made those comments like, we need to change the suit, a long time ago.
Yeah,
and I think we've had a long time without him. Bringing him back doesn't make the character more digestible. I feel like it takes him back to that era of goofiness that some people can't let go of, like that Christopher Reeves era. I know that might be sacrilegious, but I feel like Christopher Reeves movies have kind of tarnished the view of what Superman is.
Right.
Hey, golly gee, guys, flying still pretty safe. That's not Superman.
They kind of neutered it.
And
by going in that direction.
So, anyways, I've said a lot. What are your thoughts?
As I was thinking about this, sometimes I just need to break it up into categories to really think through how I feel about something as important as a superhero's underwear.
Hey.
I
just want them to be supported.
So here's my thought. You need to think through this, I think, in two ways. When you look at a superhero's costume, in my opinion, I think there's two aspects to pay attention to, and that's the design aspect and then the utility aspect. I think for each character...
we did this.
For each character, it's going to be different, though. For Batman, his suit needs to make sense for him because it needs to be...
It needs to have purple on the inside of the cape.
Oh, my gosh.
It doesn't.
Oh, my gosh. Not even going in that direction right now.
Yep, I am.
But when you think about that, he as a character uses his suit more, right? Mm-hmm. Superman doesn't need the suit to be Superman, right? He's indestructible. There's no purpose, which is why it was stupid.
He can wear jeans and a t-shirt.
Yeah, which is why it's they could do that. Which is why I always thought it was stupid when it looked like armor and segmented and stuff. I was there's literally no reason for him to need that at all. So when I look at it from a utility perspective, does he need to have red trunks or not? It really doesn't matter to me. You know what I mean? It's that's fine. I feel there's something about when you look at costumes more from the Silver Age, you go to the 80s and 90s, those feel really dated and they needed to change. When you change Wonder Woman to a mod style suit, that needs to change eventually because that was very dated for the current time, right? Yeah. And so that needed to change. And I think while my preference is I don't think we need to go back to having the red trunks on his costume. I also don't think it's that big of an issue because that feels timeless enough that it's not gonna like be jarring. Does that make sense? Like it's not like Luke Cage having an afro and a tiara still. Like that feels like super dated. Mm-hmm. But Superman, he can have pants or not, I guess. Like my preference from the design aspect of it is I don't think it's really necessary. Mm-hmm. Although I get like you need something to kind of break up an entire blue costume. Mm-hmm. And so I think that based on who's drawn them and the design of the belt over the last like 6 years or whatever, it kind of to varying degrees does that. You know, sometimes it's been like a smaller belt or whatever, and then it doesn't break it up as much. So those are my feelings.
So you go from the basic Superman suit was the same for like, I don't know, what was it, like 70-something years, right?
Yeah.
Various changes. I mean, based on how the artist draws it with, you know, big ass, red ass. We won't even talk about Superman red, Superman blue, all that stuff. But the biggest change was the New 52. Like you get that segmented armor deal. And then they changed it like near the end of the run when JR came on. And they got rid of most of the segments, the segmented stuff. Gave him more like classic boot style, but then gave him these really long sleeves that looked like he worked at like Hot Topic, like it covered his thumbs. I don't know. It was really weird. So I don't know how he hides that suit underneath.
That's true. And I feel like that's one aspect they've added back into this one for Action Comics 1000 is he still has like a little like V or W kind of shape at the end of his sleeve.
Oh, I didn't notice that. It looked like he has
anything armor wise or anything that looks like plated or solid on his costume, I think is dumb. There's no reason for it.
If you look at the costume from the movies, the Cavill suit, I actually kind of like the wrist. It has some type of wrist.
That's true, I guess.
Covering.
Like a bracer.
Yeah, I don't mind that. But that's the thing. Like if you like, well, let's go back through the other suits. So then when Rebirth comes, it's again more classic. I felt like the belt in the first Rebirth suit was really weird because it was more of a.
It was just kind of like a diamond.
It wasn't even a belt. It was like, hey, here's something that goes around my waist. And there's not a utility to this belt. It's just there as a design. And then you get the final one, which has just the red belt with the yellow buckle. Now, I just sent you a picture of the Justice League action suit, which I think is probably the best version of a current Superman suit. It basically is the Rebirth suit, but the colors are inverted on the belt. It's yellow belt.
Oh, yeah, yellow belt with a red buckle. Yeah, I think that works.
That works the best, I think. I think they nailed it right there. And it still feels like Superman, and it's classic. I feel like the shorts are not necessary. Superman is not about the shorts. Superman is about the heart.
Yeah. I think anytime we've tried to explain or utilize any part of his costume, it just falls apart pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Like, like throwing the shield on his chest. To trap someone.
That's Kryptonian. That's a Kryptonian
so
like battle like gear. They used it in the Kryptonian Wars against Thanagar in the fourth cycle. I don't know. I'm just making.
Oh, I was like, wait, what?
Really? I was like, no. Wow, someone really do that. Tom King, do that.
For me, like even as a kid watching that part of the movie, I was like, what? like I'm with you for the most part, but what?
He's all, hold on, guys. Where did he get this like shrinky dink Superman shield? Oh, dude.
Shrinky
like, wait a second. What's going on here? Superman's he's got a giant logo? Like who made that? Jor-El's like, I bequeath to you one of the most ancient Kryptonese weapons.
Did you say Kryptonese?
Kryptonian. Kryptonese, you know.
Kryptonese is what Kryptonians speak?
Sure. Sorry. Anyways, so a lot of people probably feel the same way. Let us know how you feel. Our friend Rob from the Everybody Loves the Drake show said he's a non-shorts guy himself. I don't know if that's just his personal feeling, like he just doesn't wear shorts.
Or if that's how he feels about Superman.
Yeah, I don't know what he was actually referring to. So hopefully he's talking about Superman shorts and not his style or what he's currently wearing at the moment. So anyways, so yeah, let us know your thoughts on that one because I feel like it's going to be, super polarizing situation. But anyway, when does that come out? When is that? March? April? Okay. Well, yeah. We'll see. We'll see if it's a long-lasting thing. Or
the fact that something like this is polarizing in the comic book fan community is just that's a little embarrassing.
There's bigger issues. So,
are you excited about that issue? By the way,
no. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. So I guess I am excited about it. So there's a whole bunch of creators working on this book. So you got the team of Patrick Gleason, Peter Tomasi, who are already working on Superman. Right. You got Dan Jurgens doing stuff. You got Paul Dini, who from like the Batman animated series.
Tom King.
He's doing that with Jose Luis Garcia Lopez, who's famous for character models from the 80s for DC. Oh, and you got Tom King with Clayman, who did that awesome. Batman.
He did the Super Friends.
He did the Super Friends thing. Yeah. So you got Jerry Ordway and Louise Simonson. So you got some of the classic teams over, last few years. But then you get something cool. You get Marv Wolfman, who's been a part of like DC Comics forever, and Marvel Comics. He created Blade, stuff like that. But he is going to be working on a Superman story based on some unpublished art from Kurt Swan. So Kurt Swan's one of those historical Superman, like, oh, he was the best Superman artist from the 50s, 60s, very barrel-chested Superman. And so he's creating a story based upon some artwork that Kurt Swan did. So anyways, that's pretty
cool. Should be cool.
Yeah. So
I hope it's really great. Like it's a big deal.
Yeah, I think it is. 1,000 is a huge deal in comics. And so I'm glad to see that in, let's see, maybe, hey, you know what, maybe with Detective Comics 1000, Batman gets his shorts back, and then everyone will just start wearing shorts. Robin's going to lose his pants.
And then Wonder Woman starts wearing pants.
There you go. Wonder Woman wears pants. They're like Wonder Woman 1000 pants, and you'll finally get your costume with pants.
So what's funny?
Retractable pants.
Retractable pants. Oh, man, the new 52.
The new 52.
What's funny about this art they released specifically for the cover of Action Comics 1000?
Yeah.
Is who was responsible for taking the trunks away?
Jim Lee.
Who drew this cover?
Jim Lee. He's for us and he's against us. He doesn't know who he is. Dude, okay, I'm going to take you back. Remember Wizard Magazine?
Oh, yeah, of course.
So I remember a long time ago, it was before Jim Lee was even doing stuff for DC, and they had like 5 artists like redesign superhero characters, and he redesigned Superman.
No.
Yep, and he took away the shorts, and Superman basically...
Lots of like buckles and pouches.
I don't remember. The only thing I remember, it was a short-sleeved suit with gloves.
Of course. Fingerless gloves, right?
Yeah, I don't remember. I just remember he had gloves and a short-sleeved... and
cargo pants, probably?
Yeah. So, probably cargo pants.
Basically, Superboy from Young Justice.
Basically. Anyways, I just remember... it was...
That's awesome.
I just remember that. So, Jim Lee's always been having some ideas about Superman's outfit. Anyways, dude, let's just get out of that and let's jump into... I threw out some questions today on Twitter. And...
you threw out the request for questions.
I threw out the request, yeah. I threw out a question. A query.
For questions.
Hey, people. And so I thought it would kind of jumpstart a conversation. And so a few people will jump back, and we can't answer everything, but I did want to answer this one question from @Batboat77. And he said, general question. Which I don't know if this is like the general of all questions or if it's general, like, hey, is this in general? Why has not the popularity of superhero movies translated into a greater comic book sales? And I was like, man, I think that's actually a great question.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people think that, like this movie's going to hit.
I'm sure a lot of comic book creators are asking that question.
You get a lot of like, when a movie comes out, they put together like trade collections and stuff like that. It really works best, I think, not at comic stores, but like Barnes and Nobles and things like that. Like,
yeah,
I remember when Watchmen came out, they sold a buttload of Watchmen trade paperbacks.
I feel like now, like an online retailer like Amazon or something like that, like should have something to promote. You know what I mean? I feel like that would be huge. Or like Marvel Unlimited, I think, does their thing sometimes, right? When a movie comes out, like, hey, here's a month for free. But I don't feel like it's marketed in a way where people are actually going to know.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't think the movies do much for the comics. I really don't. I don't see anyone like, oh man, Thor was awesome. Thor Ragnarok was awesome. I'm going to go buy some Thor comics now. Like,
but why do you think that is? Right? That's the question.
Yeah,
right?
That's the question. Why? And you know what? I think it's, man, I feel like this could be like a whole episode, but I really feel there's probably 3 main issues. The first issue is a lot of comic book shops are not approachable. They're just not. It's scary, or not scary, but it's kind of like it's intimidating or it's not customer friendly. Comic shops are basically there for repeat customers who are already in the scene. They don't care.
Yeah, and they don't look like there's a decent amount of that don't look like well kept.
No,
do you know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
Like,
I was just going to say, so there's a shop that we hit up, and I'll just name drop because it's a good shop. and you should check it out if you're in. There's 3 shops in the Southern California area. So there you go.
There's more.
There's more than one
in Southern Empire. There's only a few.
Well, no, there's one in L.A. and then there's one out in Redlands.
Oh, you're talking about the chain. Sorry about that.
Yeah, talking about the chain. So, and that's a shop called Quest, and they have a fantastic shop. So if you were not a comic book reader and you walked in there, but you had an idea like, oh, I know who Superman is, I know who the Incredible Hulk is, and whatever, I feel like you can walk in there and not feel intimidated because the way they have it set up is really good. First thing, you walk into the store, and the first thing you see is something that's familiar. You see like those little Funko Pops, which everyone has seen a Funko Pop nowadays.
Yeah.
And they have all trade paperbacks that start first. And I think trade paperbacks are way less intimidating than single issues. You can walk up to a trade paperback wall and be like, oh, I like Spider-Man, and find a Spider-Man trade.
Yeah.
And buy it and be done.
Well, they have like displays like based around different characters or different themes. Like
Shirts
there's a whole
and
Black
like
Panther like kind of setup right now.
Yeah,
like,
and they're really good at that. Like something's coming up. Here is they merchandise really well. And then,
but those are like kind of few and far between. I feel like,
and that's the problem.
Those kinds of shops.
It's few and far between. I go, if you really want the comic book customer like base to grow, you need to take care of your shop. You need to make it. You need to make it customer friendly and not reader friendly. Because guess what? Yeah. I'm already going to go in there and I'm going to bypass the front of the store and go to the back where the new issues are and the back issues are.
Yeah.
Off the street guy is not going to do that. Off the street guy is going to be like, I'm intimidated. What do I do? I'll look for a trade. And I think it's good when a store has recommendations like, oh, here's some, get your like not your wall books, but like your best sellers, like your Watchmen's, your Dark Knight Returns, your like Fall from Grace, Daredevil, stuff like that. Like this is a seminal comic book. Like read this and you probably won't be disappointed. But don't go and try and sell them, Walking Dead 1 to 22. Like, I heard about the show.
Yeah, that single issue.
Okay, but speaking of Walking Dead is one of those stories that actually they sold a buttload. Again, that's a technical term.
Yeah.
Of Walking Dead trades. That's probably one of the more successful like modern comic book stories. Is they actually had to like up their print runs on the trades because when that show came out about 7 years ago, people were snatching those up. It became really hot.
Yeah.
But I think the third thing I was going to say is us as comic book fans, we're not good ambassadors.
Did you say the second thing already?
I think I did.
You just said comic book. The first thing is comic book shops. What's
comic
the
book shops? I think I combined 1 and 2. Comic book shops are not. They're not welcoming. They're not user friendly for like someone off the street. And 2, they're not laid out well. I think that was my point.
Okay,
like,
so the first two are comic book shops.
And the other side of it, not the other side of it, but I think another component is people. The publishers put too much out. So if I like Deadpool and I go see the Deadpool movie, that was funny. I want to read Deadpool. There's too much Deadpool to pick from. Do I read Deadpool? Do I read Deadpool and Gwenpool? Do I read Deadpool teams up with Spider? Like there's actually a glut. It's overwhelming. Like what do I buy? I'm not going to buy anything. I think what they want to do is have you buy everything, and I don't know if that's helpful.
Well, I think there's something there that's being said. Like they're making like a statement about how they think they should fix the situation, and that's more quantity.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, oh, well, people are only buying a little bit, so let's just put more out there so they buy a little bit of more things. And I think like,
I don't think it works.
When I think about things like, what books I see like on like social media, like I see people picking up stuff is like the Vision hardback that just came out.
Yeah.
Everyone's picking that up because they're like, oh, I heard this is really good.
Yeah.
Like, that's what we need. We don't need more books. We need stuff that's done well that people are going to be excited to tell other people about.
Yeah. Okay. And there I go. There's my third point or fourth point is us as comic fans need to be better ambassadors and better like someone, hey, recommend stuff more.
Yeah. Like they don't know yet, but I bought one of our friends like a trade already. That I'm going to give them, like, because I'm like, nice. You should read this. This is really good.
And especially if like someone's like, oh, what do they like and what are they into? Like, because you can kind of gauge like your friends, like, oh, are they nerdy or are they kind of skirting the issue? Because everyone's watching comic book movies. Everyone has seen the Avengers. Everyone has watched these movies. They didn't watch Justice League because it wasn't good, but they did watch all these other movies, right? And jokes, guys, jokes. It's not like they're not aware of these characters, but I think they are intimidated to visit. And so I think it's okay to go, you know what? Like, you should read this book. And it's not all comics are superhero books. Like,
yeah,
there's a comic called Blankets that came out like 2006, I think, by this guy Craig Thompson. It's just a story about this guy's life. It's kind of his documentary. And one of our friends that we know actually bought it a long time ago. And I was like, oh, dang, you bought Blankets? And he's like, yeah, dude, he saw it in like Rolling Stone magazine or something. He bought it. And I think he bought it because it was like a hipster type of thing to do. He bought it, but he still bought it based on a recommendation. And I think we just need to be better at being comic book ambassadors. And stores need to do it. They need to be more friendly to people who aren't reading it. Don't be so, it's a private club. It shouldn't be a private club. It should be, come on in and check it out. And be like, people who run these stores need to be better at customer service and go like, hey, how you doing? Don't sit behind the counter and just kind of like be perched there like an owl. Like, you see somebody new, you need to help them out. Like, hey man, how you doing? Like, oh, can I recommend? Or else it's going to die off.
Yeah, I mean, and I see what you're saying, like putting a decent amount of that work on the shop. Mm-hmm. But I would flip that on the other side and say, like, man, the whole process of getting a comic book from a publisher to a shop to a person is just, at least from my limited view of it, just seems really just screwy.
Yeah.
Like the way that, like, previews are released like months ahead of time, and then they have to, based on those previews, order these books. Mm-hmm. You, if you're really into it and you put in the work, you can look at the previews as a fan and tell your shop what you want, right? Yeah. But that's putting the work back on you.
It's true.
To do the research. And then maybe you buy it, maybe you don't. And then based on sales to shops, not even what the shops are selling to people or what people are buying and downloading digitally, determine how successful, air quotes, a book is. Mm-hmm. And that just seems like really weird to me. Like, it's not a simple process. I can't see a movie and be like, I would like to know more about that. What should I do? Boom, you have something. It's like, well, you have to find a shop, which there's not a lot of them, or you need to know about Marvel Unlimited or Comixology or research something. You're like, no, like there should be something in some way. I don't know. Like, in my mind, I'm like, there's not a direct route to buy a comic book from a publisher. Just still seems weird to me.
Well, you can digitally. I think that's the only way. Go online and do it, which I think is easier and less intimidating. But
it is very much. But that's also not pushed because publishers want to sell the books to shops, and shops want to make their money. Mm-hmm. And so they're not going to push digital because there's not a great compensation for shops to push digital stuff.
Yeah. They tried. DC tried when they launched the New 52, but I don't know how well it worked. Anyways, I just feel like...
I mean, we're not experts, but that's just like our kind of point of view from our perspective.
I am an expert.
You are. You're so expert.
No. So comic shops do better. Fans do better at being advocates. And then publishers... Yeah, maybe try different ways of...
Thanks for listening, by the way, publishers.
Well, DC actually, in 2011 with New 52, they actually had ads and stuff, and it worked for a bit.
That's true.
It backfired. In the end, it just backfired.
Yeah.
And so maybe they need to try to advertise differently. And I don't know, one of the cooler things, I remember with the Green Lantern movie, as terrible as it was, at the end, I don't know if anyone stayed, but there was like, buy Green Lantern comics. There was a little ad at the end.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's helpful for me. Like, and here's the thing. Like, here's how I discovered some books that I'm reading right now. Mm-hmm. Just to give like a context of like, I'm pretty involved. Obviously, like I actively research and look at what's coming down the road. Follow people on social media. Do all that kind of stuff. And even for me, I listen to another podcast talking to a comic creator where he's writing a book and he's like, man, if you read these runs of Black Panther, these are the ones to read.
Yeah.
And so then I was like, I didn't even know, like I knew that Christopher Priest had written Black Panther. I knew that Black Panther was in Hickman's, New Avengers run a few years back, but I hadn't it took someone saying like, read Flags of Our Fathers, read the Christopher Priest run, read New Avengers. If you want to see some really great, as you said, like seminal, like kind of works on like developing this character of Black Panther. Mm-hmm. And I'm like I said, like I'm a fan and I'm actively doing the work. And it took that for me to kind of like, oh, I should read those. That's what I should read. Because even knowing about the Marvel Unlimited app, I can pull it up, search Black Panther. And it's like, there's 500 comics with Black Panther. I'm like, oh, great. Like, what do I even do? Like, you're not helping me start somewhere. I don't know. So I mean, that's just an example of like how hard it is, even for someone that's already doing some of the work. And so I think the big point for me, like that kind of would be like the overarching connection between all of your points, even, is as much work as we can take off of the people interested to get to a comic book, the better. Whether it's a shop or a publisher or other fans, like, let's bear that load for people if we want more people to have access to this.
Yeah. No, I agree. So there you go. That was actually a really good
great question.
Yeah, that was a great question. So we have some more questions, but I think we're going to table them.
Yeah, we can save those for next time.
So,
I think it's great to have some more to talk about. And if you have more questions, like,
send them in. Just hit up us on Twitter, or just hit up at Let's Go Comic Show, and we will answer them because they're really fun. And I didn't think this question was going to go on so long, but it was good. See, not a general question, a very thought provoking, world shaking. That question was bigger than Superman's shorts. Hey there.
Superman's shorts.
Hey there. What's in them shorts, Superman?
I do hope, though, thinking of that area of things, of movies affecting comics and stuff, I really thinking of the area.
Hey.
Oh no, I was not thinking of Superman's area. I apologize, everybody. No, but I really feel like the momentum that Black Panther has coming up, I know we talk about it every show.
Yeah.
Like, I'm hopeful that that's going to be like, and Justin, don't hate me for likening it to it, but I really feel like, I'm like, man, what if this is like another like Batman 89 moment where it's just this huge cultural swell of like people like getting on board with this. Obviously, he's not Batman.
Yeah.
But
no.
To think of like the excitement where people that aren't already involved in comic books or excited about it, to see the level of investment already in this movie hasn't even come out. Like, I'm excited for what it could do to maybe it bridges that connection a little better for people.
That's a huge expectation to put on it. I think Batman 89 was a phenomenal, sorry, not phenomenal. It was a phenomenon. I just don't know if that can ever happen again. But I will say,
I think that's fair.
Yeah, what was going on with Black Panther, it's in a different way. It's going to be big in a different way, where it's going to be this really amazing like black superhero that is getting a huge spotlight on it, and which hasn't really happened before. I mean, there's been black superheroes in media and cinema,
right?
But I don't think and I don't mean to say this in an insulting way, but like the excellence wasn't always there. Or maybe, I don't know if excellence is the right word, but like dude, look at the talent.
I think
on
the
this
platform and the investment into it.
Yeah, it just feels like, dude, this is good. This has been crafted well.
It seems on every level they're like, we're going to do this.
Yeah, and it's kind of, hopefully what they do is set the expectation of how these characters should be represented, and not even just like black superheroes, but in general, taking a character and doing it right. You look at Justice League, that just wasn't done right. It just wasn't, and you're going to walk away from that and going, that wasn't what I wanted it to be. And you can already tell right now that Black Panther is just something. It's special.
It's special. Yes.
Yeah. And I told you, I said this, dude, if Black Panther was coming out in 2017, it would have been my number one, because I'm not even like a huge Black Panther fan. I like the character, Yeah. This movie looks awesome.
I'm trying to do the work right now to become a better fan of the character. Do you know what I mean? To familiarize myself more. But yeah, like everything, even with him being a part of Civil War, I was like bought in 100%.
Yeah, it was good. It has everything good going for it, and I'm excited, man. Couple more weeks, dude.
Oof.
Couple more weeks.
So excited.
Yeah. So, all right. So let's move on to just some of our comics really quick. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We
can go a quick flyby on most of them.
A quick flyby on comics. So we'll save Doomsday Clock 3 for the end. Not a lot of comics. I mean, for me this week, besides Doomsday Clock 3.
Yeah, only a few for me, and I actually am trying to make good on Justin and I's resolution for this year in trying out new titles.
Yep.
And new publishers.
And new publishers, yeah.
To not get stuck just in doing DC's and Marvel stuff.
Yeah.
So here's quickly what I got. I haven't finished reading it, but Flash 39.
That's not a new publisher.
That's not it's not a new one. Sherlock Frankenstein and the Legion of Evil, number 4. This is the last one of this miniseries. And I will say I've loved it. It's super fun. It's gotten me really, really interested and curious about the Black Hammer regular series, which I haven't read anything of. Like I really, really want to get into that now. But the new one I tried this week is Abbot, number 1 from Boom Studios. Saladin Ahmed writing that. He wrote the Black Bolt series that Marvel started back up this last year. And it's cool, man. Like you were talking about earlier, like not all comic books are superhero comic books.
Yeah.
And so this one's like, so the main character, Elena Abbott, is a black woman that's a reporter in the 70s in Detroit, which, I mean, that's already kind of an interesting start and a concept to a story. But you have murders and different things start going down, and it seems like there's something else going on underneath the surface, and she's going to find out what it is. And I'm in. Like, it's been cool, man. The art is really
good.
So that's Sammy Cavella. I hope I'm saying it right. Yeah, really great stuff. Yeah. Layouts are interesting. The character designs are great. It really feels like a lived-in, like, kind of world that they're telling this story, but it has like a supernatural kind of spin, magic kind of spin to it that you're like, wait, what's going on?
Cool.
I dig it.
Nice. I too tried something new, and I bought Days of Hate number 1 from Image last week, and I didn't like it. And
yeah,
I really don't want to like dwell on it so much. I just think that it has a good premise, but I think it just becomes too heavy-handed and it's not as nuanced. And maybe it will be. Maybe it'll get there. I don't know if I want to buy issue 2.
I was going to say, do you feel like you're going to go another few issues? Because usually we talk about,
going
3
6
issues or so.
This is a 12-issue maxi series. And again, I like the idea of it, and that's why I got it. I was like, oh man, that sounds really interesting. And then I was just like, it just feels I don't like when it's preachy, and I don't like when it's like almost eye rolling in how like heavy-handed it is. Like, oh, come on, are you kidding me? Like, this is the story. Like, I don't know. So I wasn't digging it, and that's all I want to say. So I just give it a go. For me, it's a go. Like, if you're interested in something a little different,
it's a go, just not a don't go.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Like, it's like the year's 2022, and there's like, there's white supremacy going wild, and these people have decided to like fight against it, and which is a great idea. Like, yes. That's a great concept. I am pro like knocking those fools down. I just don't like the way it was set up. I was like, come on, guys, you took the easy way of writing the story, and I think that's where I was disappointed. Okay. So, anyways, didn't love it, and so we'll see what happens. Where my budget is next week, I may buy next month. I maybe will check out issue 2, but we'll see. We'll see. I do want to stick to this, like, at least give it 6 issues, have a run. Hey, you know what?
Yeah.
Doomsday Clock may not come out next month.
That's true. Maybe that and Metal will like take turns.
Maybe they'll take turns. So there you go. So there were.
Did you get anything else?
Nothing, bro.
So, right?
Nothing. Just hanging out.
Because we talked about Batman last week.
Batman. That was good.
All right. So we have Doomsday Clock number 3. That's the main thing.
Yeah, Doomsday Clock number 3. By the aforementioned Jeff Johns. Gary Frank. Man, this comic book. I love it.
Intense.
I love it, dude. I'm all about this.
So we kind of have this. I feel like this issue is the first issue where we really kind of start getting some really solidified, identified, like, here are our storylines. You know what I mean? Like, following these characters, following these characters, following these guys. So there's probably, I would say, 4 in this issue, right?
4 main storylines?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're going to spoil this, by the way.
Yeah, spoilers, guys.
Into details on this
you have to. There's no way to avoid spoilers.
Turn away.
Turn away
so
now.
we have the beginning of the issue is the comedian getting killed by Veet. I can never remember. Ozymandias. And as he's falling to his death to the pavement, it changes over, and he doesn't fall to the pavement anymore.
What?
But falls into an ocean somewhere.
Huh.
And seems to indicate that he has been brought to the DC universe. It looks like Metropolis.
Yeah. Right there.
By
Did
Dr.
Aquaman
Manhattan. And so from there, we get the kind of like a fist fight between he and Ozymandias.
Yeah.
Which is pretty intense. Ozymandias gets pretty messed up. And then we have Rorschach. We pick up with Rorschach and Batman talking in the Batcave.
Yeah.
Which was kind of awesome.
It is. Okay.
I like their interaction. How did you feel about that storyline?
I feel like Batman was way too understanding. And like, here, go upstairs, take a shower, get some soup. You know?
But we see at the end of the story,
yeah,
he wasn't.
Yeah. No, I know. And I'm just... my biggest question was like, why has Batman got the Batman symbol, the oval, which I love? And I'm like, wait, if this story is supposed to meet up, so is Batman going to get a new costume?
Doesn't look purple either.
I know. Is Batman getting a new costume? Like, I have all these questions. And
yeah,
I know
this is supposed to be a year.
That's such a small like part of this.
Does he have trunks?
Dude, I told you, his trunks are coming, dude. So
the trunks are coming.
Yeah, the trunks are coming. So, I'm really into this, and
I loved the page where you have the 9-panel grid, and it's basically Batman reading the journal and Rorschach kind of being impatient with it. I kind of loved that.
Mm-hmm.
What page are you on?
and we finally get like a reveal on Rorschach.
Are we supposed to know who he is?
I have no idea who he is.
Yeah, because I saw the face and I'm like, am I supposed to know? So, a young black man.
Yeah, don't know who he is. So
who apparently very aggressively washes his hair.
Yeah, I mean he's really getting he's scrubbing the scalp there.
Yes, very much so. And then,
which I think that was the perfect opportunity to do something similar to the Rorschach test on his face.
Yeah, I thought that's where it was going. I was like, oh, is he going to form a Rorschach? No, okay.
Nope, he's just...
And then, dude, you have this understanding thing. You have Batman at the end, Batman and Rorschach heading in. Are they heading into Arkham?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, dude, you're going to see these two, like, hard-boiled detective types, like, fighting together. And nope.
And I didn't catch it. I did not... Like,
no,
I didn't
totally
see
was
it.
like, oh, no.
I didn't see that happening, and it was pretty cool. So,
yeah, that's how we end the issue, is Batman leaving Rorschach in jail.
And he's not happy.
Oh, no, he is not happy.
He is an unhappy cat.
So then we have another one of the storylines is actually picking up on a story thread from Rebirth, the start of Rebirth, right, with Johnny Thunder in his retirement home. And so that seemed a little out of place, and I feel like there's something happening there as like this old black and white detective movie is happening that I'm like, I feel like I'm missing something. Like I'm supposed to know the connection there. Mm. Did you feel like that? Like it feels like the Tales of the Black Freighter from the original Watchmen series to me. Yeah. Like a similar kind of thing, like a story within a story.
Yeah. No, I didn't feel like... I felt like they're doing some kind of... I have no idea. There's not like they were referencing anything that we know of. To my knowledge. Like maybe someone else has the deep cuts, like inside track. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know. But
I'm curious to see like where that goes. But you have Johnny Thunder, part of the original JSA.
Yeah. So he's there.
Yeah.
That's
waiting
cool.
for his grandkids, but it seems like maybe he's imagining that. Like maybe he's got... I feel like there's some... I remember reading something like the history of his character, like at some point he had Alzheimer's.
Yeah, he's always been like in Kingdom Come, and they keep going to this like type of issue with him, and it usually is true. There's like, oh, he's actually having these visions of things that are actually happening, and so.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I mean, that's an interesting, like it was an interesting part of it, but not one where I'm like, I felt like I knew what was going on.
Yeah.
For me, the last storyline was the most intense of like. I really thought it was super cool.
Oh, with the Batman and Rorschach?
Nope.
Oh, with Mime and
I don't remember her name.
I can't think of her name right now. I'm terrible, but I love his powers. Mime's
oh my
powers
gosh,
are the best.
Him just holding his fist out like he's got an invisible gun.
Yeah.
And then actually shooting that dude.
Yeah. And it's like they're taunting the Joker's people. Like, that's going to be an interesting showdown, man.
Yeah, dude. So. And just like the other issues we've talked about, and with the original Watchmen series, the transitions between scenes are super cool. Mm-hmm. Like the one where she goes towards, you're the point of view of this guy that she just cut a hand off of, mm-hmm. and she's coming for you saying, "You've got pretty eyes," and then it's just red.
Yeah.
But then that changes over in the next panel to the label of the whiskey that they're doing. And
Lindbergh whiskey.
So cool, man.
Yeah, it's
so cool. His power is so cool,
dude. That is such a great idea, and part of me is like, man, put him in a movie.
Yeah,
that's a honked up power right there. They'll probably put him on Gotham or something. Isn't it?
Gosh, no.
He'll be on Gotham. Young Bruce will fight the Mime.
And the idea of these guys joining up with the Joker in some capacity is terrifying. Because I feel like they're like legit scary.
Yeah. Yeah, they're terrible. So,
any other things stick out to you?
I didn't love the comedian fight with Ozymandias. I did not like it, but I was like, oh, okay. So we took him from dying, so now he's in the DC universe. So we'll see.
Is it the fight, or is it the fact that the comedian's there?
It's the fact that the comedian's there.
Okay.
It was just
I was like, because the fight was really cool.
Yeah, the fight's good. I didn't like.
It almost
didn't like that.
Reflected the original Watchmen.
No,
one
it does. I just don't like that he's
stuff.
alive. I was like, I was okay with it just being Ozymandias and Dr. Manhattan. So it's like every character. So now I'm like, oh, when's Silk Spectre going to show up?
And
Am I going to see
Night Owl.
her? Yeah, Night Owl, and so we'll see. Sorry, I don't mean to be like huffy about it.
No, it's fine.
It just kind of felt.
It's a weird thing. Like, it's a touchy subject for sure.
But it doesn't make me angry.
These characters.
It's not an anger thing. Like, you ruined Watchmen. I don't feel like that. I didn't need to see that. I could have done without all of it coming out. But I like the comedian. I mean, it's not like he doesn't feel like the comedian and it's not a good portrayal. It's like when I like it, but I don't think it was, we didn't need to do that.
Yeah.
But overall, good book, man. For me, it's a let's go. It's a let's go get, Doomsday Clock for me.
Yeah, I think it's a worthwhile story to follow.
I hope it doesn't go bi-monthly. I hope that it's just a consistent book.
Right. That would be nice.
But we'll see. We'll see, everybody.
Oh, right, man.
So, all right, man. So that was good.
Yeah.
Good show, man.
Good show.
And again, sorry if we couldn't get to all the questions. We will get to them next week, though.
Yeah, let's make it a regular thing, dude.
Promises.
Sure.
Promises. Because I want to get to Jay Oz's questions because I think they're good. And yeah, I'm not even going to address it right now.
Don't.
We got to go. All right, Matt. How can people get to you, buddy?
On the social media.
No, how do people just get at you? Like, how do they get under your skin?
Oh man. Well, no, you can find me on Twitter at Matt Ritchie, MatTrichey.
Cool. Well, that sounds nice.
Oh.
Yeah. Hey. So you can get me on Twitter at J_Rocca, and you can follow the show at Let's Go Comic Show on Twitter and Instagram. And you can follow us on Facebook. Or not follow us, but just be our friend.
Yeah.
Try to, go there and be
Let's be friends.
I guess, like us. Facebook.com/Let'sGoCast. Go to our website at www.letsgocast.com where you can listen to this show and the Let's Go podcast and our new show, the Start Today podcast with Eric and Mike. Go and check that show out and give it some love on iTunes. And while you're there, why don't you give us some love on iTunes?
Yeah.
We will read all of your love.
iTunes love.
Oh, yeah. It's nighttime. We'll read some love letters. Hey, dear Let's Go Comic Show, you guys are sexy. Yes, we'll read those notes on the airs. And if you're feeling super just full of love, you're like, I can't just do it in words, I got to do it in money, then go to patreon.com/letsgocast and you can be a part of the show. You can help support us, help us make the show better. It's better when we do this together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, here's the thing. We love doing this, but it costs money. And imagine if everyone gave $1, then we can do better stuff. Maybe we can do the show in space one time. That's our goal. Let's do it in space.
We'll build the watchtower.
we will build a watchtower, or maybe Dr. Manhattan will put us on Mars and we'll die. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Or, hey, just go to our merch page and buy some shirts or a pillow or a cup or like an iPad like case or something. Like, I don't know. I don't even know if people do that. But you have the power. Buy a sticker, put it on like your mom's Volvo or something. That'd be cool. So that being said, my name is Justin.
I'm Matt.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.